entrepreneurship, and I play my part in mentoring entrepreneurs, especially women. I'm very active with women in management and business. I'm just about to join the Executive Council to do much more of that. I'm a frequent speaker in business schools, it basically places people who want to understand a little bit more about entrepreneurship.
And in all of this, do you think that the federal government or the state government or even the local government has a role to play? Have you worked? You talked about being part of women in business. Have you, as a member, contribute or worked with the federal government in this regard?
Well, I mean, I'm a private sector person, and I don't necessarily work with federal government. And we have quite a lot we're dealing with by ourselves. So what we do is, just for an entity such as Health Plus, employing 750 Nigerians, 0 expatriates, and some of these talents come pretty unformed. What we have to do is to set up an academy in-house to retrain people and make them employment ready. So that is one way that we're contributing. And our business, I mean, one of our aspirations is to be the Boots Pharmacy of Nigeria. And as we begin to scale the multiples of people that we can employ, one statistics I like to give is the fact that Nigeria has 774 local government areas, and there are only 190 registered, only 190 of these local government areas have registered pharmacies. So there's a huge gap to fill. There's a huge void for safe and affordable and efficacious medicines for everyday Nigerians to have access to such. So we are on a mission to bridge that gap, and in doing so, scale up our business, and in doing so, employ more Nigerians.
So employ more Nigerians and scale up your business. This is also a very good time for me to ask you, any plans to list on the Nigerian Stock Exchange? Oh, well. Or maybe not even the Nigerian Stock Exchange, maybe the NSDQ-OTC Securities Exchange for unlisted securities.
Okay. Our sector is pretty peculiar, particularly, so the pharma value chain is made up of manufacturers, distributors, wholesalers, and retailers. We're at the last leg, and we connect the consumers to the products of manufacturers. And we are highly regulated. Medicines are on the federal exclusive list, as you might know. And the law at this point in time says that a retail pharmacy must be wholly owned by pharmacists or registered pharmacists. So for many years, that prevented diluting equity and listing. But in recent times, the regulators have come to realize that we're 100% professional, we're 100% a business as well. And therefore, access to funding is key in order to scale up and bridge the gap I talked about. So the law has just been revamped, and it's gone through first reading. Hopefully it will scale through, and ability to list is certainly one of our options. And
looking at the timeline, as soon as the law, of course, becomes, as the bill is passed into law, what's your timeline? Immediately, or?
Well, I would say that we have our work cut out for the next 5 years to scale up to a certain quantum, and then in about 5 years' time is what I would roughly say.
So for you, looking at the retail trends now in Nigeria's economy, do you think that we're going to have it improve, at least for 2017, especially as we know that various stakeholders, including yourself, are trying to play a major part to put Nigeria on recovery path? And so low-hanging fruits, playing your part to contribute to the growth.
Well, I think for all of us, 2015 was a really tough year, just trying to survive. We are all beginning, this has now become, I mean, the challenges of 2016 has become like the norm, but what we have to do is to shake ourselves up and refocus for a rebirth, which we're all expectant. So ability to have strategy sessions. It's very important to have strategy sessions, retweak your strategy, refocus, innovate, and begin to prepare for when things turn.
It's a very good way for us to anchor this conversation. Buki, thank you so much for coming on the program. Buki George is the founder and Chief Executive Officer of Health Plus Limited, and she's also an alumnus of Lagos Business School, as well as a fellow of the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
So, of course, we've got other things on tap. For instance, today is the last trading day for the month of January, and coming into February, here are some of the items we've got on our radar. The FMDQ-OTC Securities Exchange will sign a memorandum with S&P Dow Jones indices in February, and that also will be the day when there'll be official unveiling of the co-branded index, that's the FMDQ, S&P, Dow Jones, and also we've got the Securities and Exchange Commission holding a seminar on budget 2017 in Lagos. Business Morning continues in just a moment. We'll be taking a look at what's happening at the Nigerian Stock Exchange after now. Welcome back. You're watching Business Morning on Channels Television. Of course, coasting home now to end the show. We're going to be focusing on early trade from the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Rotimi Fakaijo, who is a trader and CEO of Enterprise Stockbrokers, will be joining me in just a bit to review the early numbers from the trading floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. But the exchange is today expecting management of Medview Airlines to visit and list, as well as present to capital market stakeholders facts behind the listing. And this is the first for the year 2017. And hopefully that will be a good start for most of these companies planning to list on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. But coming in from yesterday's trading, here are how the numbers stacked up. Of course, investors booked profits off most of the major heavyweights on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, including UBA, Guarantee Trust Bank, and Dangote Cement. So that drags the broader index lower by 0.42%, while market capitalization fell by 38.2 billion naira to 9.02 trillion naira. So taking a look at the indices, except from the consumer goods index, which appreciated about 0.1% owing to price appreciation in 7-Up, all sector indices closed in the red. The banking sector lost about 1.2%, as I said, on account of UBA and Guarantee Trust Bank, which dropped about 2.7 and 1.7% apiece. In the same vein, insurance and industrial goods indices fell 0.8 and 0.3% on the back of sell-offs in Continental Insurance and Dangote Cement, respectively. And the oil and gas index also closed negative, the marginal 0.02%. Investors' sentiments continued to be weak as market breadth stood with 9 gainers as against 19 losers, and the top gainers were 7-Up, Capitan, and Eternal Oil, while on the flip side, Continental Insurance, Owando, and Nymeth were the top 3 losers. So yesterday's performance was broadly driven by profit taking after 3 consecutive days of appreciation last week, and most analysts are expecting performance to remain pressured in subsequent trading sessions, including today. So it seems we're still unable to connect with Rotimi Fakaijo, but just to tell you what we've got on track for today, the U.S. Agency for International Development will be launching 2 public-private partnerships that promise to boost agricultural productivity and increase household incomes in Nigeria. Now, these agreements are expected to improve the country's agricultural sector by providing farmers with new management and commercial skills, as well as new technologies to increase productivity and earn higher incomes. Also on tap, Kojo's Capital is holding its economic roundtable with a focus on Nigeria's economy in 2017. Now, is the economy on a recovery or maintaining status quo? Listening to my last guest, Buki George, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Health Plus. She's also the founder. It seems as if the retail industry is going to be a part of the success story for 2017. And that's it on today's edition of the program. Many thanks for staying with us. I'm Harriet Admin. Have a profitable day.